I went to UB back in the 70s, and when I started at UB, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for a career. So I had some friends who sort of directed me toward the accounting department, and that's what I majored in, and that's what I came out in, and I've been doing that for 32 years now. Basically had 2 jobs in 32 years. And I have to say I owe it all to UB. I wouldn't have known what accounting was had I not gone to the School of Management. Well, I have a little bit of legacy with UB. My dad went to UB back in the 50s. So, when I chose to go, it was something that I was proud of. It was in the family, and I felt good about being there. And I really do feel that I owe a lot of my career success, really a great majority of my success, to having gone to UB. So it's been a very easy thing for me to want to stay not only connected, but also to give back. So I've been a member of the Dean's Advisory Council for probably 10 or 12 years now. I was invited on by the previous dean, and wasn't sure exactly what I was getting into at the time, but I have to admit that it's been far more engaging than I ever expected it to be. I did serve a term as the chair of the Dean's Advisory Council, and I think what it does is it gives you, a peek into the inner workings of the school, which is interesting, obviously. But I think it also allows you to feel like you are connected, like you are still a part of it. And, it was just a good avenue to direct the charitable intentions that I had. And I was able to really speak with senior faculty members and understand what it was that they needed and how I could help them, so that when I was interested in making a major gift, I knew the right people to talk to and was able to do that. And they were very facilitating and very appreciative. Well, so I've actually made 2 major gifts at this point. The first one was back in the late 90s, and I funded what at the time was sort of a new idea. It was as a connected classroom. Now today, in the era of wireless internet and whatever, this seems a little archaic, but back then the idea of having the internet at every seat was kind of a big deal. It's something that the School of Management wanted to have, and so I put the funds together to help them equip one of these high connected classrooms. And then the second time around, I again funded a room. This time it was a student activity center within the accounting program. It was something the faculty said they wanted. And again, just trying to tune in with the faculty. What is it that they need? What can make a difference? And they said the accounting students want some place that can be their place on campus. So that was the second major gift that I made, to actually put together the student activity center within the accounting program. We're in the public accounting industry in one of the big 4 firms. I work for Ernst & Young, and it's still a very dynamic environment. It has been for as long as this profession's been around. It's been tough, as it has been in any business over the past probably 5 or 6 years, with the economy being what it is. But it's the kind of environment that's always changing. The clients are always changing. The demands are always changing, and so you really never can get bored in this business. So I think it still is very rewarding intellectually. And it's obviously a very solid place to be financially, so we like to provide good jobs for our people, so that's a good aspect to it. I think probably the hardest part about the accounting industry is that you've got a long apprenticeship period. You really need to put your head in the work papers, put your head in the books for a number of years and get very good at your craft before you can get out and sort of really mix it up with the clients at the level that some people would like to. So you have to have some patience, you have to have perseverance in the early years. But if you can do that, it pays off for you later, because you're not only exposed to the very senior people and exciting client situations, but you also have a real craft. You've got a real skill that's valuable in the marketplace that you took years to develop, which makes a difference for those clients. What's different today about the era when I went to school at UB is that things are so much more global. So much more connected today, and the competition is far more global than it was. I think the school has become a lot more globally integrated than it was. Not only do we have campuses in other countries, we have alums in all sorts of countries, because we've got a student body that comes from all sorts of countries. So I think the school has become a more global operation, and I think that makes it an interesting place to stay connected to. The things that make you succeed or fail are really the same globally as they would be if we weren't operating that way. You gotta know your stuff, you gotta work hard, you gotta listen to your clients, things like that. I just think that there is a much broader pool of competition. You've got people from all sorts of cultures that are good at what they do as well. They come at things with a little different perspective, and you have to just be more broad-minded and nimble to be able to compete in a more diverse pool of talent. Having taken accounting, it was all tailored toward what I do. I mean, it really is, it's a professional degree, you know, so it's very well aligned with the career that I chose. I was actually very much challenged by one of my professors, who's no longer with the school, but Professor Larry Brown was one of the accounting professors when I was there, and he later became the department chair. And Larry had a way of always seeing something beyond where you were and always making you feel like you weren't quite where you could be. And you know, that's, for whatever reason, that tended to spark me to do more. I could have been discouraged by it because, you know, to some extent he was telling me what I wasn't able to do, but instead I said, you know what, let me show him what I can do. And so I'll never forget sort of that influence that he had on me. That was pretty powerful. After you leave a place like UB, I think one of the advantages to coming back and to staying connected is that you get to meet other alums in different fields, and particularly if you're involved in something like the Dean's Advisory Council. It's connections that you might not have had a way to make otherwise. It's professional affiliations, it's friendships, you know, so there's that opportunity to broaden out your own connections. But I think the other side of it is you get to learn in a different way from people like the dean or people like the senior faculty, because now as you come back with business experience, you have a different conversation with those people. And you're learning all over again, but instead of it being, you know, the blocking and tackling of your business, now it's more of an exchange of ideas, the deep thoughtfulness in academia and the sort of day-to-day experience outside of it. And it really is a very fertile way of learning from each other. So I've actually appreciated that very much. I would say don't forget UB. You know, it's exciting to be out. It's exciting to be on to the next phase of your life. But you'll always appreciate that you came here. There are going to be people you met here that you'll never forget. And there are going to be things about the school that you'll continue to appreciate and maybe appreciate in new ways the further on you get in your career. So don't forget the place. Just come back and stay connected.